Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Bitch, and she's kind of ruining our whole family.
Damn.
But still better than the fucking weirdo conspiracy theorist incel he'd be without her.
That part.
I can't admit that to my family, but it is true. It's like, you know, he might be kind of stressed now, but at least he has a purpose in life.
You see, the thing is like with my family, I've kind of just like given up on even trying to talk. So I just start saying wild conspiracy theories and things like to the point where even like Trumpers don't want to engage with me. Where
It works. I do that.
Like, did you?
No,
did
it's
you
not flat. It's a cube.
It's like it clearly was like the reptilian laser people master race. Like, come on now.
Oh man, I start agreeing with people. It really pisses them off. Like somebody
If you
like,
look when Trump's
You
head
get
moves, he
over-enthusiastic.
blinks sideways.
or just like say it, but like pretend not to. Like I got a friend of mine kind of annoyed because she was saying like, we spend too much on the military. You know, you could feed every child in America with what it costs for one nuclear submarine. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, yeah. When we draft them all to be soldiers, I want them to be strong and well fed. You know?
Shout out to Project 2025, baby. You go into public school, you gotta enroll in the military.
I think you should anyway.
Yeah.
That's one of the many hills I want to die on.
It's
today.
that what the fuck is the movie? Why
Any
am I
hill
blanking?
involving the military does increase your chances of dying on said hill.
Well, like Hamburger Hill. That's a good movie.
Sci-fi movie with the space bugs.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Starship
It's a good
Troopers.
movie.
Yeah, where like so that the movie and the book are controversial because people can't decide whether it's pro-fascist or like
Neither is pro-fascist actually. Because this is a hill. Are we recording?
Yeah.
I'm ready to die.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I wasn't planning on this being
Jeff,
the
I
hill
think you
that I
proved
die
that already.
but-
You signed up for the military.
That's true. And yet people still feel like I'm fucking around with all that. No, but like Heinlein wrote that it's not actually, even the book is not fascist. It's very pro-democracy.
Well, that's so.
It's just there's levels and hierarchies of democracy where it's like everybody gets taken. In his world, there's no racism.
Yeah.
It's very diverse. Everybody's taken care of. But if you really want that clout, you got to join up and shoot
the military. So the debate online is whether it is like a spoof on like fascism,
Heard that
or
argument,
if
yeah.
it's pro-fascist, right? Like people,
The movie or the book?
both, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because like they say the book's pro-fascist, which it's not,
No.
but that the movie's making fun of it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that either. I believe that the movie came out and the director, in trying to make up for the bad reviews, kind of retroactively implied that he was just joking around when he just couldn't admit that Siskel and Ebert kind of thought it was a shitty
kind
movie.
of railed his movie
Yeah,
a
he was
little
like,
bit.
no, that's what you always see people try to backtrack by saying something's a joke after they get caught.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
worried it
prank,
might have been
bro.
a big
It's
cope.
just a prank, bro.
He's like, oh no, I was making a joke. It's like, maybe you just don't know how to like translate
Do you
into
think
English.
like you think like producers will like bitch to like would have like bitched to Ebert the way like comics bitch the host? They'll be like, you had him watch my movie first. Like
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I have no idea how Hollywood works, but yeah, you're 100% right. That is how it works.
you had fucking Ebert watch my movie first, you motherfucker.
You think reviews are bad? Like awards, like nomination committee. Those are so political. Because like when you're out west, you see all the billboards of like they'll put out a billboard for a movie that's been out for a year, but then it's for your consideration.
Yeah,
for awards.
when it's Oscar season, the billboards start lining up, and those committees too are like super insular. Like it's a bunch of guys who just run Hollywood and like getting on the Oscar
Jews,
board.
yeah. I can say it. Jewish.
I can too now, according to my 23. Yeah, no, it was a 2.8% Ashkenazi Jew,
Hey, that's good.
Ukrainian Ashkenazi Jew.
More of you is Jewish than there are Jews in the country. I'm pretty sure. We're like maybe half a percent.
I'm like
So, yeah.
double minority.
You're more
I'm-
Jewish than American.
I'm the they Donald warned
I'm more
you
Native
about.
American than Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, who is it?
0.8%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am too. But
Shout out to all my $5 Indians.
Yeah, my 23andMe is 99.2% Irish,
I have never taken
0.8% Native American.
I could have just smelled your breath and told you how Irish you were.
Yeah,
And you are wearing a Boston Celtics hat.
yeah, feels good.
Yeah.
I never did a 23andMe. I never wanted to. I just
I didn't
I just
have
took
it
my
done.
grandparents' words for it.
Yeah.
My sister did it.
You're you're white. It's a little bit easier, right? Because the books are there for you. Me, on the other hand, I didn't want to for a long time because I bought into the like whole conspiracy on them like having my genetic information and you know how the corporate overlords
They
could
have
use
that
it
already.
to refuse me insurance. But I'm like, it's fine. I told my doctor I did shrooms, right? Like that's gone in my public record. If they ever want to refuse me health insurance, they'll have plenty of reasons.
That's all right because the health insurance market's going to collapse and we're going to go full holistic
Oh,
any
yeah.
day now.
They've
Any
been
day.
priming it for us. They've literally been priming it for us for like decades, bro. Like, you think Jenny McCarthy is leading the anti-vax movement for nothing? Get out of here.
I mean, it's just clear that the insurance premiums are
rising. Well, they've been rising up, and we are crashing through. That's right. It's your boys, Doc.
and Ziggy.
And we are the
The
Flood.
Flood.
That's right, your favorite weekly pop culture digest, taking the news happening around you and discussing how it's shaping the culture that defines you with our pop,
Pop
perspective. To
Put the culture in context.
and make
Make the mainstream make sense. Because if we don't make sense, we don't make dollars.
Holla! And on this week's special episode of the Flood Pod, we have a guest, one of our illustrious fellow comedians on the local scene. Jeff, would you like to hit the people up with your socials?
Yeah, how's it going? I'm Jeff King. I am at Jeff Lawn King on Instagram and Jeff King on Facebook. And I don't do Twitter. I have a Twitter, but
Yeah.
we don't want to get into all that. Why would we ruin a beautiful Sunday afternoon?
I have since been calling it Twitter.
Twitter.
So, did y'all
Twitter.
see that in his newest attempt to stay in the limelight, Elon has posted a poll on whether or not we should go back to calling it Twitter or if we should keep it X?
You stopped
Neither. I think we should come up with a third name.
Jeff is like, Green Party.
Let the internet vote.
Yeah. Let's put it out to the people.
Ask-
crowdsource.
Ask Mountain Dew how that went.
Yeah, so it'll just be Tweety McTweetface.
It can't be worse than X. X is just you're not even trying at that point. So that was cool when Gen X was a thing.
If
But now they're boomers, so it doesn't
if Twitter
matter.
had come out in the 80s, X would have been fine, right? Because it wasn't
Dude.
porn riddled then, right?
They would have called it Turbo X.
Yeah.
2000, and that would have been so rad.
Wow, man, I'm just thinking about 80s tweets and whoo, good lord, you want to cancel somebody. I was watching Porky's the other day. And,
Oh,
boy. Shout out to Tubi.
Fu Wong Tu.
Oh, you mean Tu Wong Fu?
Tu Wong Fu, that's it.
Hey, I think that is more culturally accepted though than Porky's was. Like we just don't talk about Porky's anymore, right? Like that's one of those.
Tu Wong Fu. We watched that in my queer cinema class in 2004. That's
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah, it is at this point, right? But like Porky's goes in that like that crate of 80s teen sex comedies that we just like. It was a time, like Grandpa. It was a time, and
Basically, so what you're saying is only scholars such as us appreciate fine historical artifacts and primary documents.
There's a clip that I now have saved in my meme folder that I gotta send to you. And it is Shannon Sharp talking about a fling he had, and it's just the clip I have is it was the early 90s.
it was like that was one of those movies that was I guess popular for like its shower peep scenes, and I'm just like, it's first of all how antiquated, right? Because kids don't even take showers in high school now.
Or at all.
Anytime anytime I see a shower scene in a high school movie, I'm just like, hey yo, what were we thinking?
I think the Sopranos fans.
Yeah. Yep.
I think there's an infamous high school shower scene in one of the later seasons there that kind of just closed the door on adolescent shower scenes forever.
Until Euphoria, right?
Yeah, I
Thanks
don't
to
remember a
Drake.
single person in high school ever using the shower
Yeah.
No.
after gym class.
I mean,
Ever.
after 9th grade, I didn't take gym.
No.
And I would just work out on my own and shower at home.
I was
Like a normal
by the
person.
time I started doing weight training and gym in high school, like I don't feel like the shower. It's just wild to me that there was a time period in this country where you would go run laps in class and they were like, all right, now go stare at all of your classmates' dicks
it's
for
like-
15 minutes.
That's one of those things. Like some movies, even though the tech has kind of moved beyond it, you still like the movie because of the jokes. Like,
Yeah.
my wife and I showed her Harold and Kumar Go
Yeah.
to White Castle.
Yeah.
That came out 20 years ago, and like there's a noticeable scene where like they just decide to not bring their phones. They're like,
Yep.
should we bring our phones?
Yep.
They're like halfway down the hall. They go, nah.
That's one of my
Too far.
favorite things to do when
And
you
then
watch.
she was like saying, you would never have that
No.
anymore. You'd
Nope.
get lost, but it'd be because your GPS takes you through a really bad part of North Jersey.
So what would
which
we
does
say,
happen.
like pre-2006? Watch any movie pre-2006 and just figure out where a cell phone would have completely shattered the plot.
That's, yeah.
I like that in Harold and Kumar they make it a point though that they do have cell phones, that they're just too high and
To
lazy to
leave
bring
them.
them, and that's what makes it a timeless classic. I think.
Also, like we were still on like what was the Motorola Razr phone was like the
Yeah.
most advanced like thing we had. We were watching Once Bitten, the Jim Carrey movie, the Jim Carrey vampire movie the other day, and it was just like that was a 80s classic that still holds up pretty well. Another one that I like, Just One of the Guys, where the high school journalist cross-dresses to see what it's like being a male and trying to get her story published or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole scene where she's like ogling all the guys in the shower, but like got a pass to not get dressed because she had like some migraine or some shit like that.
That was a wild premise in a lot of movies. You remember
Yeah.
Ladybugs with like Rodney Dangerfield?
I don't remember. I
That
like
was
Rodney
because like
Dangerfield, but I
Rodney
don't remember
Dangerfield
that
plays this soccer coach, and he has this son who gets kicked off of his boys' soccer team, so he joins a girls' team
Yeah.
to pretend that he's a girl. And there's
Yeah.
all these different
Yep.
like scenes where they're like this boy has to not.
Yeah, gender swapping was
Gender
like
swapping was a thing.
a fairly
I remember
common
Chihuahua
thing.
Man.
Yeah, right.
Chihuahua Man. I made a lot of jokes about that 3 years ago.
Yeah, I
and then you
feel
had to
like
not.
White Chicks might have been like peak gender swap.
I saw.
movie.
'Cause it's racial
I saw.
gender
It was
swap.
either
It's
Vanity
double.
Fair.
It's double intersection.
It was either
bro.
Vanity Fair or Variety, and they had Marlon Wayans talking about his past roles, and he was talking about white chicks, and he was just like, I never want to be a white woman for that long ever again.
I don't know the early 2000s like that Y2K high that we rode into the 2000s on could never like be where they're trying to duplicate it now, but I don't think it because like
It's just gotta happen.
White Chicks could never get made nowadays.
Well, I just like none of the movies would get made because back then you had a lot of comedians just getting deals to make movies.
Yeah,
And you had
yeah.
some great movies that came out of that.
with
like Freddy Got
no
Fingered,
oversight. Yeah,
Dirty Work, Half Baked. There was oversight, and Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
kind of like distances himself from the movie because he
Yeah.
said that's not how I would have made it if they left it up.
But
to
then
me.
they're talking about making a second one, right? So it's like
I mean, he'll do it. Maybe it'll be the one he actually wanted to make.
yeah, because now he has the money to make it the way he wants.
Yeah,
to
the
make
studio got in there and they're
So,
like, no, I gotta change stuff.
For a guest, there are two questions I always like to ask. The first one I'll ask now, and the second one I'll ask later.
When we're drunk.
3 of your favorite Brad Pitt movies.
That's not that hard because one of them came out a couple years ago. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Great movie.
which is the one I actually want to talk about because it's like kind of my favorite. And I'm not gonna do Inglourious Basterds 2, same director. Fight Club, gotta go
Fight
with that.
Club
I
is
mean, I'm of a
good.
certain generation, and I feel like I like that one for not the wrong reasons because
Yeah.
I see talking about Starship Troopers. We're in on that joke.
Yeah.
That movie was made, but I think the director and writer of the book had the same vision, and they were making fun of the same stuff. Maybe
they were in sync there. This wasn't like a Stanley Kubrick and
Ridley Scott?
No, not Ridley Scott.
Spielberg?
Yeah, Stanley
like
Kubrick.
AI.
Yeah.
Talking about AI. I'm glad that that's what. And then it's the third Brad Pitt, the all important third. I don't know, 7.
Damn.
But let's talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 'Cause
Actually, no.
I love that.
Now, since we're in movies,
Well, hold on.
I
Have you
have to
guys
ask
seen
you
the
the
trailer
question.
for F1 yet?
Not yet. No.
The new Brad Pitt movie? Okay, so
alright, so
it's
this is one of our other favorite questions.
It looks good.
Interview with a Vampire. Replace Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
No.
Worst movie or better movie?
It's just back then in the mid '90s, it would have been terrible. If you did it now, it'd be kind of cool.
It would be hilarious no matter what.
I feel like if you got Kevin Smith to direct it, it would still be a good movie. It would not be the same movie.
No, it would not.
It would still be a good movie.
If you put those three together, you're gonna get something.
You're gonna get it.
I
you're
love
gonna
Dogma.
Get,
That's another one.
That's a
My some people,
I feel like you could.
my
make
in-laws
Dogma now.
didn't think it aged well. I thought it.
I think it's still.
I thought certain parts of it, okay, like the filmmaking style is a little bit amateurish. Not like I could do anything better, but
I think that's what gives Kevin Smith like his charisma, right? Because the way
it's a little wooden.
Kevin Smith shoots though makes you feel like I could have shot that movie, and not in like an insulting way, but it gives you inspiration to be
But like, I could get
because
this
he was
camera for
inspired.
$500.
Yeah,
kind of
He was inspired by Richard Linklater. He saw
Yeah.
Slacker when he was a young
Yeah.
filmmaker, and he went, wow, you don't have to, you can do a low budget epic indie, and then he made Clerks, and then he made the other one.
Dog, I love
I
when
love
we
Dogma.
have guests on that actually know fucking pop culture.
I wish I knew Pop. I just bullshit it like everything else.
Well, I mean, yesterday we almost got
I
the
just said
sequel we
names
never
just
wanted.
now, and you fell for it.
I love Dogma. Dogma is one of those things that, like, Kevin Smith probably in his career made it too early.
Yeah,
But
ooh,
he made
I
it
like
a
that
good
take.
time because
It's an amazing movie.
it is an amazing
I like that take. Like, if Kevin Smith was
I have
later
Johnny Christ
on
up
in his
there?
career, that movie would have been taken more seriously than what it was,
But
right?
he still got Chris Rock at the,
Yeah.
really at the height of his
And I mean,
commercial.
and-
then George Carlin
and
playing a cardinal, which that's so funny.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, right?
Like, the perfect way to describe my relationship with Catholicism really is Buddy
Catholicism
Christ.
now.
Buddy Christ. Like, Jesus, pretty cool guy.
I grew up
Pretty good
Jewish,
name.
so like everything I know about Catholicism kind of comes out of that movie. I saw that as a 14-year-old. I snuck into the movie, bought a ticket for another one. Dogma. It is a great movie, even with its limitations. Because maybe it was just like a personal bias, but that was one of the first times I felt like I was in on a joke in a movie. Like because I'd started watching George Carlin specials, and dude's a huge atheist.
Yeah.
And I'd seen that, and then I saw the movie and thought, oh my god, they got him playing a priest. I get why that's funny. you know?
Yeah.
If Kevin Smith's making you feel smart, you're probably not that smart, but I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
Anyway, let's get a quick rundown of stuff we have to talk about. It's been a rather slow news week, wouldn't you say?
It depends on your definition of slow.
I don't think we missed much. Or by much.
I feel like we just grazed by.
Anyway, let's take our shot. So here are some things. Here are some things that have happened since you last heard from us. Alec Baldwin's case has been dismissed. Team USA basketball is really, 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 really good.
Who would have thought?
The Gladiator II trailer just recently dropped.
That I have not watched yet.
Several why the fuck are we doing this? Who the fuck asked for this? Kendrick Lamar continues to murder Drake. And speaking of murder,
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. So are you guys ready for a second Trump presidency? Because I feel like this solidifies it, baby.
what's your favorite conspiracy theory you've seen?
Ooh, I have a new one I want to come up with. A new conspiracy theory.
Brand new drop.
Let's just make them up as
We're
we go.
theorizing. I always believed if you're going to be a theorist, you must theorize.
Yes.
That's it, baby.
So I think the
Hi, Ted the
Democrats,
Fed.
Democrats know how screwed we are. Probably they are.
A little Freudian slip there.
But
I appreciate
God, we need to go see Shrink. This whole country needs to see Dr. Melfi right now.
You
But,
see, like,
it.
I don't know
Fix
why.
this country.
But we all know if a liberal is actually going to do it, they're going to use a drone.
I don't know. That take is
that's
crazy
true,
to
that's
me.
True.
Like,
But
seriously,
I still think here's how they're going to get Trump. The Democrats know electorally, judicially, and even philosophically they're not winning right now.
No.
I mean, I am a liberal, and I'm kind of pissed at us right now.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
Here's how we're going to get him. Here's how we're going to get Trump. We know we're screwed in November. What we're going to have to say, Democrats are going to have to admit they've lost so bad and have been pwned by politically by Trump for so many years. They're going to argue that he's already had his second term, that this was his second term, and that constitutionally you can't actually have him serve 3. That's how they're going to get him on the grimiest technicality in American political
They
history.
would have to.
They're going to admit he was president this whole time. They're going to say he was president this whole time.
You know what? You know what? 2020 election was stolen.
Sorry, yeah, they'll admit that they stole the election, he's been president, and then be like, well, we can't have him a third.
Yay!
And he's gone.
Who do you think you are? FDR?
Exactly.
You didn't even get crippled after you got shot.
So
You can't even say that without sounding like a 1940s gangster. Respect for FDR for that.
yeah, so this is just an 80s movie. We really are just living through a really shitty 80s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all knew that.
This is the sequel no one wanted.
because we
To Reagan? Absolutely.
yeah, Reagan and Carter, right? Because Joe Biden is just like
It's-
really dumbed down Jimmy Carter.
I've
like,
been hearing this time as a flat circle thing ever since I love True Detective season 1. But it really is. We've been living in this messed up, like,
It's a
1950s
weird-
ever since World War II ended.
yeah,
So this sounds like
time loop.
Fallout. Also, I was gonna say, I think the timeline split when we killed Harambe.
Nah, I don't know, dude. Like,
Now, 2016 was an unusually... David Bowie died. That was...
David Bowie,
yeah.
like literally, it was like the year of
You
dead
know,
celebrities.
not to
David
be a
Bowie,
hipster, but
Muhammad Ali.
Not to be a hipster, but
let me-
Can I give you my 2016 death that actually ruined everything?
Yeah.
And this is the hipster thing because it is true, but nobody thinks about it. Gary Shandling. We lost
Yeah.
Gary. And nobody talks about him. I think Larry Sanders Show is the greatest comedy of all time.
Ooh.
Even Apologies to the Simpsons or Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And then nobody talked about him dying, and then it all kind of went to shit.
Yeah.
That's how you
like,
know it's
I will
yeah.
get my comeuppance.
You
and
gotta
now,
look for what people are not saying.
And now we're stuck inside of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's
I
not.
like that last season, but a lot of those, I noticed a lot of those plot lines were from other shows.
Yeah. I feel like that's all we have now. We're just living through the reboot, the rehash. Like it's just.
I
And
saw a take.
is
Is
like
Ted
really hitting home.
Danson the greatest male sitcom actor of all time?
He's like the Deion Sanders of shows. Like he doesn't
He's got
exactly.
Cheers, Modern Family,
He's got a lot.
Curb.
Bored to Death. He kind of they bring him
He
in
was
as a
on
ringer on
The
there.
Good Place.
Yeah, well, because he's not really a leading actor, but you can get him
Yeah.
playing like safety, and he will get some pick sixes. You'll win a Super Bowl. For
Yeah,
sure. And you want that. You want a free agent. He's a free agent god.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
What was he lead?
I think he
What
was
was he
actually-
ever the lead in?
So he's like the
was
LeBron.
he the lead in Cheers?
He's
No.
like the LeBron.
He was-
Yeah,
he was-
LeBron's the lead.
he was.
LeBron's. Yeah, that's a.
You see, he's
That's
a great.
knocking on LeBron a little
He's
bit.
a great
isn't it?
relief pitcher in Cheers.
Okay, who's the
Literally.
LeBron
Is-
of like
Tom Brady is the only because like LeBron, he's such a leader. You know, it's
Yeah.
different. Because he goes there just to lead places. I don't know who's ever really done that. That would be like a lead singer joining another band and making them go. That'd be like Mick Jagger.
It would
joining
have to
the
be
Beatles.
like fucking Charlie Sheen, right? And I just feel like that comparison isn't. It's not
Doesn't
fair to
work.
LeBron.
I think LeBron. Yeah, I mean LeBron doesn't really. I don't know if he has like an artistic comparison.
Maybe
that.
like Anthony Anderson. Because you know what he's done with like the whole Blackish thing, and then now he's on what CSI or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it is, Criminal
No,
Minds.
yeah, he's on Law and Order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but
on
you don't
Law and
exactly
Order,
hear
like,
Anthony Anderson say, "I'm taking my talents to CSI." You gotta have a little bit of ego. You know?
Yeah, no, yeah. He's just trying to outrun that Kangaroo Jack shadow.
I mean, I still think he was great in Departed. You know. It's really good in that.
I was a big fan of him in Transformers, wearing that LeVar Arrington jersey.
I mean, I know it's the second time we brought up this movie, but he kind of makes Harold and Kumar. Like, he really guides them on their hero's journey. Remember when he's working at the drive-thru? He's like, this used to be a White Castle.
How can we forget Me, Myself, and Irene? Another 2000s classic.
They do some great conspiracy. He's the one who's like, Vince Foster didn't murder himself. Shit.
Yeah.
They're like pulling. They're genius kids. They're just
Dude,
like
I might
acting.
have to watch Me, Myself, and Irene.
I love that.
That's a classic.
That was a good Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and that's Farrelly Brothers.
That was peak Jim Carrey. Now he's all
And Pete Farrelly
anti-vaxxer.
Brothers.
Yeah.
So, Tara came on here with a great island. Hers was the only reason Kevin James has a career is because Chris Farley died.
I have my hill I want to die on, but I don't know if I'm willing to say it because I might actually get murdered. Given what happened to Kurt, so I'm going to move past that
Oh,
one.
damn.
All right, let us know when you're ready to go for the
So,
island,
I
because
thought
we
it
have
was-
an audio drop for that, because I have fun with this podcast in post-production.
But no.
Got an island. I'll think on that one.
So,
I mean, I got hills and islands. I feel like
rounding it back to the whole Trump thing, Timothy Crook, or whatever, 20-year-old.
McVeigh.
Is it a...
No, it's not. That was the
Timmy's-
Oklahoma City guy.
Yeah.
Wow, you have one extremist Tim on either side. We need to talk about this.
Well,
for a
so
second.
he's apparently...
And you know who's holding us all together? You have Timothy McVeigh on the right. You have this new Timothy Crook.
Yeah, yeah.
On the left. You know who's holding us together?
Chalamet?
Exactly.
Boom!
Exactly.
Hey, he's
Mod
different.
dip, son.
He is a Timothy, or Timothy, but spelled differently.
Fuck.
Mmm.
It's not just the typical Timithh.
He is Hollywood, though.
I mean, Jamie Foxx's real name isn't Jamie Foxx.
What is his real name?
Oh, it's Thomas. It's Thomas Matthew Crook, the shooter, the Trump shooter.
Jamie
okay,
Foxx.
so, all right. You get a reprieve, Timmy.
You'll appreciate this. Jamie Foxx made his stage name Jamie Foxx, so on open mic nights, he looked like his name was a girl, so he would get up earlier.
Yeah, but also related to Red Fox, so he had clout. Smart.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to change my stage name to Jeff Clinton. My wife hates that. Just like, why not? Jeff Clinton sounds like a laid-back guy.
If you can get the laugh, right? You know,
I just think the name Clinton is really funny these days.
I mean,
It's kind of a punchline, isn't it?
it is. It's a meme now, right?
Jamar at first was like, try like a stage name, and then I can't remember. I think it was Kyrie was like, "Nah, your name's like really memorable. Just stick with your name."
Also,
Dan Glennon.
stage names are kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Just saying it out. That's my hill. What, I feel like I have a whole mountain range of things I'm ready to
Follow
get. It'll
me
be like
at
the Battle
Signature
of
Doc.
Pelican, Yeah, but it's just if you're actually on stage, you got to use your real name because otherwise, I'm gonna think you're a liar.
That's me. I'm the liar here because I don't use my real name. I use my stage. It's my handle.
The government doesn't know his name from this podcast.
Yeah, no.
Are you identity thieving people or something?
No. But if you listen,
like, are you scamming?
I mean, we have some great local comics who love identity theft and scams, and they're really blowing up. They're real killers.
I mean, that is true. We did just talk about those like Bitcoin, fucking home invasions.
home
last
invasions for
week.
crypto wallets.
Yeah, ripping people's fingernails off, bro. Like
What?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
ripping fingernails.
Yeah. No, these were like
That's
some legit home invasions. Like they were tying people up and torturing them for crypto accounts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, I know you're supposed to, like, stand up for the oppressed peoples of the world, but, like, when they do stuff like that, I don't feel very hot take, but, like, when people do really heinous stuff, I don't always, like, forgive their childhoods. I'm not gonna. I'm a never hot take.
I thought your hot take was gonna be like, well, if you have enough money to spend on cryptocurrency, then
No, I'm not taking that, actually. I also don't think you should kill billionaires. How about that? I mean, they're evil, and they're gonna go to hell, but that's not up to us. It's up
You
to
see,
God.
like, this is the thing that really makes me mad about the Trump thing.
I mean,
like,
I'm not
it's-
saying full French
I'm-
Revolution.
I was
Oh,
already,
dude, I hope there is, just so I can shoot some of those people.
I
would love to be giving them a whiff of grape shots.
I was already making a joke about how no matter what happens to Trump, if he dies, it's going to be a conspiracy theory. But the fact that, like, it was an attempt and it was on TV and it didn't work. Like it's so less satisfying than having him like choke to death. It's so less satisfying than having like choke on a steak behind closed doors.
Dubby already did that. He beat that one. Pretzel.
I was like,
2001.
this is not how The Simpsons predicted it, so I'm not really satisfied with the way this went down.
I thought that Simpsons prediction one got debunked.
I mean,
The Simpsons didn't predict anything. It's just history, as we said earlier tonight, if you've been listening, has been repeating itself for at least 70 years.
also when you have like a bunch of mathematicians and shit,
Nobody
like,
comes
you're,
up
like,
with great
writing
ideas.
They all went to Harvard. They read a history book before.
Yeah.
They're just writing on stuff that happened in the past.
Yeah.
And we don't know history because we're not allowed because it's politically incorrect.
Yeah, hey. There's a bunch of people
Well,
in the country.
speaking if we're not allowed to know history, how about we talk about some counties in Maryland banning AP African American history
I was
studies?
gonna say there are some people in this country who think critical race theory is something that your children should be worried about, but
Well, I don't know. It's just funny that like people have all these opinions, but really don't have that much experience anymore. Because it's like we live in the we've basically been living in the 90s for a long time, the 1990s for a really long time,
with a way lower like murder rate.
I don't know, it's here and there, it fluctuates. But
It's like
just
the 90s with denial. It's like nothing wrong is. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, it's just like
It's the 90s with a higher inflation, but like a higher rate of comfort too, right? Like we're really like,
we don't have Bill Clinton though.
No, we have dumb Jimmy Carter or sleepy Jimmy Carter, right?
I got Jimmy Carter must feel really bad, like because he tried to be a nice guy and then
Well, he is
Yeah.
legitimately a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guys make kind of shitty presidents sometimes.
Yeah,
because
Joe Biden.
yeah,
right?
like Jimmy Carter tried, but then like his indecision led to a lot of terrible things happening.
That's the problem with Joe Biden, right? Like Joe Biden has done a decent amount, like for the labor side of things, but he's still like his failure to actually like move with the gusto of like I feel like what the Democrats really need right now is like an LBJ or
LBJ was a great president for domestic like liberal policies that we all love and agree with. Civil Rights Act, Voter Rights Act, a lot of the like public
Vietnam.
broadcasting.
We could talk about Vietnam.
I can talk about Vietnam too because like that wasn't his decision.
Look,
that was much like Obama. He got saddled with that.
Look.
He didn't start.
Lyndon B. Johnson was good enough. If you Google the initials LBJ, he comes up before LeBron James.
Yeah.
And yet he got who was?
Could you imagine? I would love to watch a debate between LBJ and Donald Trump, right? Like.
Because LBJ was a statesman. We don't have states or men anymore. So
Shout out to Andrew Tate.
I don't.
No, that was a joke. I hate.
Well,
that guy.
that is funny. That's another thing. Like, you're not allowed to say anything like even remotely like catty as a guy without somebody like trying to shame you for it.
Yeah.
Which sucks because that's you internalizing your misandry.
Yeah. No, that's a fair.
You shouldn't say that. You as a man shouldn't be policing me. I hate Andrew Tate. That guy's a hack. I'm a Red Bar fan,
God.
so like Red Bar fans were the first ones to know how bad that guy sucked.
Fortune tweets and quotes.
I always like to bring up his fight record. Like, what is his actual fight record?
Well, it's like I don't even like Tate, but like I say one thing and I get compared. It's funny. I'm not like trying. It's just like, yeah, and like as a guy, like what you're not allowed to like kind of enjoy being a guy.
I mean,
it's
John
funny.
Cleese,
Especially because like, and this is actually something that's really gonna get us canceled. But like, I don't like when women use the F slur ever. I don't like when guys use it because it's messed up. But every guy has had to hear that. Gay or straight, you've probably been called that.
Yep,
absolutely.
And like we're straight guys, we've been called that by manly alpha guys that we all think are assholes too. So when a woman says it's like that's not something you've had thrown at you, you're throwing it back at us. You can't say it. Women, if I hear you saying the F slur, you're getting canceled.
And I just only thing I want to push
they're
back
not
on.
like us.
Only thing I want to push back on is I feel like we can enjoy being men. I think it's men policing how other men enjoy being men more so than, like, once again, you have the loud minority of women who want to be vocalized overcorrecting on the patriarchy. I think now is probably one of the best times to be a man, period, because you can experiment with so many different things and find a community to be accepted in as a man, right? Like, if you want to be a man who focuses on gardening, like, there are tons of women, and you're a straight guy, right? But, like, you want to be a guy that gardens, like, there are tons of women
It'll
who
always be good.
Yeah.
It'll always be good because we're gonna come up with great shit all the time.
Yeah.
To get around bullshit rules of society.
I think men are trying to decide what is manly now in this new spectrum of old versus new, right? And I think, we are the ones who are being like, oh no, that's soft, you can't do that, right?
I was at a Memorial Day cookout.
Yeah.
I was at a Memorial Day cookout and I saw exactly the most non-toxic display of masculinity amongst like 6 guys. Someone came out and asked for a bottle opener, and all 6 of us reached for a lighter, our wallet, all sorts of and then one guy pulled out his belt buckle, and all of us were like, how fast can we pull out a way to do the coolest way to open this bottle? And I was like,
that's honestly not a new thing. That's just how dudes have always pretty much been.
I think women,
nobody knows about it. It's just because, culture presents the image of the oafish or the brutish male, which we all have elements of that. Who the fuck doesn't? But, like,
I think opening a bottle with a lighter is cool.
I think women still appreciate traditional aspects of what we have come to know as masculinity. They just hate guys who make that their entire personality. Right? Like,
I don't like anyone who makes one thing their entire personality because that's boring.
Yeah,
exactly.
I also had I was preparing a whole mountain range and topography of hills to die on, but most identity comedy sucks because of that reason. Where it's like, it could be anything. Like, if say you're a gay man, that's great, but that's not inherently funny. No. And I've heard a lot of gay people say, I don't want to be a punchline. But then you have comics out here, they make that their premise, setup, and punchline, and nothing else. So I'm thinking that's a weird double standard. It's like, it's fine to be who you are, but if you're trying to entertain or tell jokes,
what do you think?
You gotta go beyond just that. Like me, I'm a veteran, I got a whole lot
you
of
have
stuff,
to
but
bring,
I don't want to just be that.
You have
one
to bring
thing.
the audience, which you have to assume is a wide spectrum of people, into your world when you're telling.
You know what? It's not even that, because I've done plenty of shows where it's been a crowd that skews one way, perhaps, like maybe an LGBT crowd or something, or a middle class crowd, or a more female crowd. You know what? I still see comics who come from those communities bomb in front of those audiences, because that's almost even worse, because it's a crowd of just gay dudes and you have a gay comic saying, I'm gay. There's nothing. No. That's all they're hearing. It's like, well, yeah, so are we. What makes you so what makes you so special that you get to be talking to me and wasting my time?
So that's what I was gonna say. To me, what it is like, if you can't bring an interesting perspective to the shared experiences that we all have, then there's no point in using your identity as the center of your set. Right? Like, if you're not going to, like, talk to me about something that all gay people know about, but you just now, or you noticed a different angle to it, then, like, what's that's hacky to me, right?
That's
like,
part of the reason I don't actually go and tell, like, dating and sex jokes. I feel like it's just too easy. I like to challenge myself when
People
I'm writing.
do that for a different reason. I think they're trying to be relatable, because everybody...
Yeah, it's like it's very easy to be relatable when you stick in the primal.
So I have here to push back, to play devil's advocate. I like it because everybody seems to be so cagey about sex now, right? Like,
that'll break crowds open.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake of doing that to my own detriment, but I totally get what you're saying, Doc, because, like, when you have a crowd of people just talking about, like, heavy, intense topics,
dude, and everybody,
a dick joke fucking kills after that.
Everybody is so...
It breaks the tension.
Yeah.
With
Like
all
a
the
little section.
identity
Oh my God,
politics,
yeah.
I've noticed that people
Academic shit. I just call it all academic shit.
It is. Everybody wants to do like a TED Talk, right? Which I have been accused of doing during my open mic, right? But I also feel like people, with the more inclusive we're trying to be, the like more people are retreating into like we talked about this, like Gen Z is like doesn't talk about their sex life at all, bro, and like people
antidepressants tend to kill one's libido.
yeah, maybe that's what it is, because like I don't want to call them prude, but like yeah, when you go to like talk about like what I'm sorry, I grew up, I guess what was like during the second hippie wave, because like we were just out and partying, everybody was doing
there
like
was a war on.
yeah, everybody was doing like ecstasy at the EDM raves and shit like that. Like now you're I mean fucking like we have musical artists doing songs, they will party to songs like WAP and shit like that, right? But the second you start talking about your sex life, or you accidentally like
Like, how long you been doing stand-up?
me 6 months now, so not very long.
Because a couple of years ago, it was before some of these people were, doing comedy or around it, or these people were. Comedy was really bawdy because I started 5 years ago in Baltimore.
Yeah,
it was nothing
year
but
and 2
fucking.
weeks.
And it was great. And I was like, everybody's talking about sex, and it's interesting to get your perspective because you don't have
as a new
you don't have
comedian,
that experience really. So you are starting in a time where it's the opposite.
yeah, and it seems like people.
And it does come in waves.
I mean, I've even made like
It's like being horny, it's like-
I've even made my not telling sex jokes into a joke.
Well, it's because you are Catholic. Sexual repression from a Catholic creates greatness.
So
Also, it sets me up for all of the hilarious things about Christianity. I'm working on a set about that first millennial saint that died.
I like to go over the year-end Pornhub statistics on here, and it's always a fun time with a co-host who's a recovering Catholic, because we get to talking about like bestiality or incest porn, big booty ebonies and stuff like that, and he's like, and he clams up. I try to get him to open up a little bit, but it's like, unless we're,
I mean,
Talking
part of the
about-
religion of Catholicism is like actually talking about your feelings is essentially a miracle.
but I'm like, Catholics are the ones who are reserved in private but horny in practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's think about this for a second.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
you know
all
what I
right,
mean.
let's take this one guy and put him into a really small enclosed space with this other really creepy old man and close the door. Yeah, that's fine. That's normal.
I'm sorry, all there was to do in ancient Italy was get drunk and fuck. And then you go to church, right? Like,
I've heard-
Whoa, you
I've
forgot
heard
about
carbs
pillage.
make you pretty horny, and like there's a lot of pasta to be had.
all right, John Kellogg, calm down. Harvey Kellogg.
They're sick references, dog.
I try to be cultured here, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Who else would
I
you
mean,
come to for Pornhub?
Didn't the guy live
statistics?
to like 100 or something? Might have been right. That's a great movie, Road to Wellville. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
That's
one yet.
about where like Anthony Hopkins plays Dr. Kellogg.
Oh, so speaking of great movies, how about we talk
Which one
about the
does this
Gladiator
guy?
2 trailer?
Everybody is just excited to see Denzel in ancient Rome. Let's just
Yes.
be real about it.
And we're all gonna watch it
because
Oh, yeah.
many times.
despite what the internet would have you believe, we do like to see black people in fantasy settings. I was hyped to see the new Assassin's Creed trailer, right? Most Japanese people were hyped to see the new Assassin's Creed trailer. The new Star Wars show at the Acolyte is pretty good from what I'm hearing, right? Despite all...
We just want to see Denzel because Denzel's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
We
Like,
kind of want to see Denzel in all historical eras,
I
and
would-
we're getting there. He's building it.
See, I thought about this.
He's a time traveler.
universe.
The great thing about
I mean,
timepiece
he's won the
movies-
Oscar for something that he should have also won the Medal of Honor
the
for.
EDU, right?
He's been an action hero. He's been
A drunk-
He's been a drunk pilot.
Drunk
He's
pilot.
been Malcolm X.
Crooked Cop.
the greatest crooked cop of all time.
And it's funny that you name that right after Malcolm X, right? Because everybody in the community is like, he should have won the Oscar for Malcolm X, and they gave it to him for Alonzo, right?
John Q.
I've heard that,
That's
but
one of
also
my favorite
Denzel was
Denzel
like,
movies.
yeah, but like, I actually had to act because Denzel Washington is not actually a, corrupt dude. He's actually morally.
Yeah,
so he had to like,
more
he had
in
to look
line.
for something else.
So
yeah.
you're saying he's
It's
more
easy.
in line with Malcolm
That
X
might
than he
be-
was with Alonzo
that
Harris.
might
I
That's why I
would
love
say,
the John Q
I would
part.
say he's like, he's not really acting. He's just like,
Yeah.
just channel my inner decency. Pretty good Malcolm X. Versus like, I gotta like look up what it's like to be a crooked LAPD cop.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably harder for
That's
You know
a
what's
fair
funny? The Spike Lee junk that Denzel was in, he was playing a cop. Inside Man.
Is that Spike Lee?
Yeah.
So is Malcolm X.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're right. Fuck.
Yeah.
I just got checked.
That's the ultimate. I don't know.
I feel like that
I guess
is
Do
one
the
of
Right
the-
Thing would be like Spike Lee's.
That is
I mean,
the
his
Spike Lee junk.
That's his magnum joint.
He's
But,
pretty much a superhero in The Equalizer. And Unstoppable, which was also not him being like a crooked cop, but him doing like his like
I
Jason
like his
Statham.
vulnerability. This sounds very actory, but he conveys a lot of vulnerability. Like,
Yeah.
like when he's like emotionally raw and he like cries.
Yeah,
it's-
no, I totally
You
agree.
feel it.
He is.
Remember the Titans, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yes.
Yeah, John
Is
Q.
that his greatest?
Fucking John Q.
Right?
Right?
Remember
Yeah.
the Titans is greatest because
Man on Fire, pretty good too.
I don't know. I was
American
ready to
Gangster. That one scene where he shoots Idris Elba in the head.
I don't
One
know
of
when
the
he's the
coldest
coach.
scenes in film.
What's his name? Coach Herman.
Oh, don't forget the Hurricane, right?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Damn, Antoine Fisher,
Antoine
like,
Fisher.
oh
That's
my
a good
god,
one, too.
he got
Because, like-
game. Like, come on, man, I'm going through like I'm looking at Denzel's.
Dude,
like,
he got game. Ray Allen is amazing in that, and like every once in a while,
Denzel is such a good actor. He made Ray Allen a good actor
because he's generous. He's like his
By
team
proxy.
partner. Yeah.
No, so
Dude, Ray
apparently-
Allen still loves that movie.
The
like, every once
story-
in a while, he'll put like Jay Shuttlesworth.
The story
on it.
behind
Yeah.
it is like they did a lot of takes for like the game between Denzel and Ray, and they used like Denzel got one basket on Ray, and they're like, "You're using that cut."
No, the story I heard was Denzel refused to play the scene. Like Spike said, you're supposed to lose the scene, and Denzel was like, "Okay, but I'm not gonna play like I'm gonna lose though."
Like he has to beat me.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
He's
Denzel is-
competitive. He's giving.
He's
it
like, I'm gonna make
everything.
him work for it, bro. I don't give a fuck if it's Ray Allen or not.
That's a. What do you think about Any Given Sunday? That's another like '90s
Ooh,
like authentic
yeah.
sports movie.
That Pacino speech is so good.
That
We'll
and-
fight everything.
Oliver
Throw that
Stone
in.
knew something because he, you know, who was supposed to play the Jamie Foxx role was P Diddy, Puff Daddy. at
Oh
the time.
god.
But they did like an actor's like NFL style training camp, and
yeah.
P Diddy got cut from the team and the movie because he couldn't throw, and Jamie Foxx beat him for a roster spot.
P.
Jamie
Diddy would have
Foxx-
gone into method acting.
I was
for
gonna
that
say
one.
Jamie Foxx is probably one of my like my top like this dude is like a generational
I mean,
talent.
You
Like,
and I think that he's the
Music,
most
comedy,
talented
and acting.
He's the most like talented person on the planet.
He
Like,
is.
yeah, but also Denzel and Spike Lee have been working together since Mo Better Blues, and I couldn't let you forget that once I got down the line here and saw it because like that movie is also a Spike Lee junk and
And he got
classic, and he got game, right? Yeah, Denzel,
When's the last time they've worked together?
him and Spike.
Yeah. What's the last thing they did?
it might have actually been Inside Man.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years ago. Isn't
Clive
it?
Owen. I miss him as an actor.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What
I don't hear
is
much from Clive
shout out to Clive Owen. What's Clive Owen been up to?
He's on the comeback trail. He must be now.
I love that guy.
Bring him back.
Shoot him up.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Yeah, you know
Children of Men. We're living it.
You know what
We need him now more than ever. He warned us.
We haven't gotten a Denzel and Brad Pitt movie yet, and I think
We haven't.
No.
Ooh.
And I think
Have
we
we
need.
even got a Denzel and Matt Damon movie
I
yet?
think
Yes,
we need a
there
Clive
had to
Owen
be.
and Brendan Fraser.
We have a Denzel and Matt Damon. Courage Under Fire. That's a good ass movie. Because I love military movies.
Yeah.
And I love Denzel Washington playing a military person. Like
Yeah.
Crimson Tide. Glory's a soldier.
Glory is such a good movie.
Yeah, he got an Oscar for that.
Two
But, yeah.
Guns.
Oh my god.
Him and Mark Wahlberg were way better together than they should have been. Like
him and Courage Under Fire. That's because that's where you
Yeah.
have Denzel. Like he has all this PTSD.
Right.
He's drinking, but he's also this consummate professional.
It's that raw element of Denzel, his ability.
He's holding it together. He holds
Yeah.
it together so
to
well.
convey that, like, just that pain. That, you know, it's the same way he was in Flight, right? The way he was able to convey the excessive drinking and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
he does a lot of that in Courage Under Fire.
Yeah. Yep. Man, no, Denzel is a treat.
He's good at playing a haunted man.
Yep, it's gonna be great to see him in Gladiator. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it yet, but I watched Beverly Hills Axel, right? The new Beverly Hills
Saw the
Netflix
new one?
movie. Yep. It just really, I can't remember who I saw say this.
My
but the
Netflix-
entire time I was watching it, I was like, this movie needs to be in theaters. Right?
Of course.
It is truly a Beverly Hills movie. It does not feel campy in an overly egregious way. Like, it feels like a 80s Beverly Hills movie. And it just, long story short, like, summary, I guess I should say, is it's like a father-daughter outing, right? Like, Axel, the main, I would say, storyline is Axel repairing his relationship with his estranged daughter. But obviously they're doing it through trying to uncover this dirty cop cartel connection that's going on in Los Angeles at the time that his old partner gets wrapped up in, right? So he's got to come back to Beverly Hills to see his daughter and tie up some loose ends kind of thing. And like just that alone, right, feels very 80s,
Yeah.
right? You know, and it was great. And I mean, come on, it's Eddie Murphy, right? Like, I know Eddie Murphy has had some questionable movies, right? Like, but everybody, Norbit is still good if you're not really invested in the kind of like comedy you're watching. Right?
It's like the Demon Slayer of comedy.
It's not. I was gonna say it's not Medea, but it's close. You know what I mean?
Sure. You know what?
But
It was a weird time culturally for, I would say, a big chunk of this century. A lot of people were phoning it in, and now I think probably viewers stopped paying attention. So
Yep.
studios said, "Hey, either come up with something new, or at least sequels people like."
put some effort into the
I
shit.
thought some
right?
of the recent sequels haven't been that bad. Like even Top Gun, Maverick was alright.
Was it? I didn't get a
cool.
chance to see this one. I was
I didn't care about it, and the first one isn't that good either. But like, you know, it was watchable.
Yeah, the first one is definitely like, okay, if you're on an airplane and Top Gun comes on, I'm not gonna be mad, right?
I don't have a
like,
If I'm on an airplane and Top Gun comes on and I don't go faster, I'm mad.
It's the ultimate '80s propaganda piece.
not Starship Troopers.
No, because Starship Troopers, like I said, that wasn't intended as serious. It was just the dude didn't have a good creative vision.
Well,
I'm just questioning the director's creative vision at this point. I have no idea. I'm not qualified to speak on it, but I like doing it.
Well, let's go into some of these crazy, wacky headlines after this break.
Look, it's a flood. It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Sabbath?